Okay, hello, dear chatbot mates. How are you doing? This is Joan Zen. Welcome to the first Zoom meeting of this activity, Beauties in the Eye of the Beholder. And our guest today, the amazing, fantastic, marvelous teacher Matt. How are you doing? Hello.
that was way too nice. I'm doing well. How are you? All good?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah. I'm really glad to be here talking with you. My purpose is in these meetings is get a casual conversation, make yourself at home, okay? And back to the topic, exactly. This is the attitude. Back to the topic, Beauties in the Eye of the Beholder, episode number 10. The question is, are you ready to survive in an extreme environment? I have some questions. My first question, you are a Californian guy, and there are multiple important deserts like Mojave or Colorado. Have you had any kind of survival activity there? Or if you didn't do any, do you know any friends who live an adventure like that? Okay.
Let's say survival activity. So I was never stranded in the desert because the car broke down or something like that. No. I guess the closest I ever had to that, probably when I was a boy, a young teenager or boy. I was in the Boy Scouts. Classic thing to do in that time. And I remember we had to do some kind of wilderness survival thing. And so I have a clear memory of myself and one or two, I think maybe we were three of us, where basically they left us out in the desert and we had to survive the night. No, I don't think they were all that far away that we could have gone to find them if we really needed them. But at that age, it felt something like that. I guess that's the closest that I've ever been to something like that.
This type of experience is really common. Everybody, when was a child or a young, had this type of experience in the middle of the nature, like a Boy Scout.
Yes. And it really feels like an adventure, or you really feel like you're alone when maybe you're not as alone as you actually think you are, but maybe, but it feels that way.
There was a town so really close to the place where you are living this experience, but the feeling is like a big adventure.
I'm trying to think of being trapped, where I'm from in Southern California, especially in the eastern part of Southern California. There really are open deserts, places where cell phones don't always connect. And that can be a dangerous place if you're not careful, for sure. In your car, you need to be careful. You have things like water maybe in your car if you go down some side road where you normally wouldn't go.
I have to confess something, because many years ago, when GPS doesn't exist, when people like me rode a bicycle in the middle of the forest, we had a special road book with some annotations. In the kilometer 1 and 200 meters, there is a house beside a tree and a source or a fountain. And when you come or arrive in that place, neither the house nor the tree
are remaining.
Nowadays, currently, with GPS, it's really easy to go through the nature in bicycle, or riding bicycle, or maybe running
Right.
or walking.
I think we've lost probably younger. So I'm 43. So I grew up without using a phone. I grew up with using maps. When I backpacked in my early 20s, I had a map. I mean, a real map.
Yeah, real
And
paper map.
yeah. And I think that probably, yeah, I guess humankind in a lot of the more advanced world as we continue into the future, or we lose this skill. And
you are right.
that is a skill that you kind of learn. And it's so much easier when you just have your phone. You don't have to pay so much attention.
Absolutely.
So
thinking about skills, I know that it's a stereotype, okay, but in American movies, people can hunt their own food smoothly. Are you fond of hunting? Okay, or could you get some animal with a trap and eat it later, or nothing related with that? It's
it would be nice if, well, I think it depends where you live and where you're from in the US. If I grew up in Alaska, I think the answer would probably be yes. Okay, or Montana. But where I grew up was, again, kind of high desert, getting near to the ocean, kind of smashed between that. And no. Could I survive by hunting? No. Have I ever been hunting? Again, just when I was in Boy Scouts and all of that. So I did have to learn how to shoot a rifle or a shotgun. I've done that. Okay, because of that experience. But could I actually hit anything? Give me 500 bullets and maybe get lucky. I think the only thing I could do would be related to fishing, because I did that a lot when I was younger. My father loves fishing. We always did that. So maybe I'd be able to fish something.
I don't know if you have seen this type of TV series related with survival, but it's amazing how
There's
people can survive with anything. With just a knife, and they are able to do everything in the middle of the forest. So it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, and there really are so many reality TV shows or documentaries or whatever they are that are around this topic. And there's been a big explosion of those over the last, 15 years or what it is. And it's a cool little genre. I love that idea of having to survive. If we're speaking about an island, if we're speaking about the movie Castaway or on Mars.
I love the idea, but to be honest, I am not able to do something like that.
Understand. I doubt I would be able, but I think it's a cool thing.
The stark reality. It's impossible for me. Are you able to make a bonfire? It's not easy. Maybe.
You know what? If I had to make a fire in the wild, what do I have? It was a question I would have. Do I have glasses? Do I have some other tools, or do I have nothing?
What is the name?
Match. A match is the little stick with the red thing on the end to start a fire. Okay, easy. I don't know. Again, because I was in Boy Scouts and had to do all of that, some things I know. I know how to keep a fire going if I have a match. I know how to get it going and all of that. But just starting with nothing and rubbing two sticks together or something, no. No.
Same here. And finally, the last question. Let's imagine that you will be in a tropical, isolated island, passing some days, marooned. I don't know if
marooned, maybe marooned or stranded.
What would you take before starting the experience?
Yeah. You know, that's a funny question. I say that because I've used, as an English teacher, I've used and run that activity with probably 100 different groups and I give them a list. So I have some ideas. I've heard a lot of ideas and thought a lot about it and heard different people with suggest different things. But normally we would have a list and you have to decide with the group. It's a fun English activity. So if I had to choose just a few items, how many do I get? 3? 2, 3, 5?
Yeah, 3 is fine.
I think even though there's so many things that you could say one would like to take, if I really had to take 3, it would be practical. So 1 would be something about starting a fire, like a magnifying glass, probably something like this. Yeah. What else? Something like a machete. Do you know that word? A machete, like this big knife, like a sword.
There is a typical survival knife called a Bowie. A
Bowie's a big knife, right? And a machete is the even bigger, where you would use it in the jungle to knock down the trees or something. Not trees, but to make your way through. Because I think we could use that in a lot of different ways, not only for cutting things. What else could we choose? You know, normally it would be something like a net. In this activity I do a lot of the times, there's a parachute in the list. And that for sure is one thing I would, if it was on the list, I think I would take it, because there's so many things you could do with a parachute. You could make a shelter, a little house. You could take the cable, the cords. There are lots of things inside of it, let's say, if you take it apart. And so if I get to choose, I guess I would take a magnifying glass, machete, and a parachute.
It's a good choice. I think that.
What would you take? Do you know?
In my case, a knife is crucial. Some type of tool to make fire. Crucial as well. And maybe I don't know how is what is the name in English. This type of grease to put in your skin to avoid mosquitoes.
Yes. Some mosquito repellent or something.
Or insect repellent.
Insect repellent.
Really important.
I think suntan, let's say sun protection, would also be really important, especially if you're like me and have no hair. This is really, you know, when I have seen groups doing this, often they're maybe like 30 items and I make them choose 5 or 7 or something, because they typically agree on the first 3 or 4. But then you get some really good discussions for, let's say, the final 3 or 4 items. And sometimes I think people overlook something to have fun, like a deck of cards. I mean, if you're with a group, if you're really going to be there for years or something, I think that a simple thing like a guitar, which you could use in many ways, but or a deck of cards or a ball or something, is something that gets overlooked to keep people happy.
Paper or notepad with a pen, with a pencil to draw or maybe to write things. There are a lot of
so many things, no?
Really, that you need for sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Holikau, I would be taking with you for ages. Okay, but you and me are busy. We have a lot of things in our plate. A lot of things to do, and a real pleasure. Needless to say, I'm grateful. How grateful I am.
No, I think it's great that you're doing the series. It's great for your speaking exercise, and it's just fun to do. But you know, our airplane is crashing. We have to jump out and go get on the island. There needs to be some pressure in these activities to make it more fun.
The topic is a little bit insane. Yes. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode, in next casual conversation, inside another Beauties in the Eye of the Beholder. Bye bye. See you. Bye bye.